song you guys just heard was recorded using Pro Tools. I'd like to, first of all, I'd like to start off by thanking my live studio audience over here. And don't forget this guy over here.
Hey, son.
And basically Pro Tools is just a really fancy tape recorder that's done right through the computer. So basically you take an audio source such as an amplifier or a microphone, plug it right in through this direct box here where it takes an analog signal and converts it into a digital signal where it shows up in Pro Tools, and you're able to edit the audio by cutting and pasting and sliding it around and putting EQs and different effects on it of that nature. Gone are the days where you really need a big whole recording studio, because right here, this is pretty much the whole studio. You don't have the huge mixing boards. The mixing board is built right into the program. They do make a separate mixing board that you can actually get and plug into this. But here I've got this, for this song that you just heard, I've got seven tracks set up, plus an auxiliary track, and basically I have one vocal track, 3 guitar tracks, bass track, and the drums are done in MIDI, which is actually 2 tracks. But what MIDI is this musical instrument digital interface, and basically what that is I have a whole bunch of different instruments programmed into the computer, and it allows me to control them with this little keyboard right here. So I kind of have a whole orchestra at my fingertips, but MIDI can only get you so far, and then you're going to actually need to use some microphones. And there are 3 basic kinds of microphones. The first kind is going to be a dynamic mic, like this one, which happens to be a Shure SM58. And basically these are really good for recording vocals, miking cabinets. This kind of mic is really good for doing anything. And other than that, there are a couple other kinds. I've got 2 examples of condenser microphones right here. I've got a lipstick style microphone, and then I've got a regular full-size condenser microphone. These have a little bit larger frequency response than a dynamic microphone. They also run on what's called phantom power, which basically means that they have to have a separate power source, whereas a dynamic microphone does not. And this one, as you can see, is mounted in a what's called a shock mount. And basically, what that does is it prevents any vibrations from coming up through the microphone stand and actually interfering with this microphone, since they're so sensitive. The third kind of microphone, which unfortunately I don't have an example of, is a ribbon microphone. They're very expensive, and they're much more delicate than either of the 2 styles I have here. They're mainly used for doing vocals, but they have to be positioned pretty far away. They're also used for picking up ambient noise in the recordings. But basically, there are a few different kinds of microphone like techniques for using a microphone. I've got one example right here of a condenser mic mounted on a boom, and basically the way you want to mount the microphone is you want to mount it at an angle to where when you're speaking into the microphone, the person that you're recording, their mouth is below the microphone, so that it doesn't interfere with so that the air that they're producing doesn't interfere with the microphone. That's also why I have this pop guard here. And you can see it has a little bit different shock mount. And there are a couple different kinds of ways to use microphones as far as guitars and recording instruments. But now that we kind of have a little bit of a basic idea of how to use a microphone, the next very important step is, once you've got all of your instruments recorded, you can go to the editing and mixing step, which is basically where you open up this page here, where it's the mix page that brings up all of your faders, and then also that allows you to adjust the volume of each channel and pan it left and right to give mixed clarity and to make it to where it sounds clean when you listen to it. But as far as effects go, there are four main kinds of effects that you use when you're recording, for the most part. First being compression, which basically limits the maximum volume of a sound that is being picked up. So if you're they're mainly used for miking vocals and drums and even acoustic guitars a little bit. And basically it just prevents you from having one note that's a lot louder than the rest. Next would be reverb, and basically what that does is just adds depth and fullness to the recording. And delay is used to give kind of an echo effect to the recording. You also have EQ, which allows you to color the sound with by bumping it up in certain frequencies and reducing the sound in certain frequencies. Another one I used in this recording is, I've got one here called Amplitude, and basically what that is a program that replaces a whole wall of amplifiers. So I've got almost infinite number of different amplifiers so that I can choose from just by plugging my guitar straight into this box, and that's how I recorded the rhythm guitar, the lead guitar, and the bass in this case. And that's basically it for how to record a song in Pro Tools, kind of a quick overview. And so one thing you have to keep in mind though is that with recording, experience is a very key variable, which I only have about 1.5 years of experience doing this. And also with microphone placement and different EQs and different ways of doing the effects, it's all experimentation. So I'd like to thank my audience for coming again.
Good time.
All right.